Did you know that 56 billion farm animals are killed every year by humans for food consumption? That's not even including fish and other seafood products. Did you know that 1 acre of land produces about 250 pounds of beef? Did you know that that same amount of land can produce 50,000 pounds of tomatoes or 53,000 pounds of potatoes or 30 pounds of carrots? Did you also know that the World Health Organization put out a report that said processed meat was classified as a 1 carcinogen, which means that there's evidence that it causes cancer? I could go on, but the bottom line is everyone needs to consider a healthier and sustainable diet. Everyone should consider becoming a vegetarian. I want everyone to understand that the impact on your life can be for the better and how you can still eat the majority of the food you do now. Let's take a look at why people become vegetarian in the first place. There are two main reasons that make people feel the need to make the big switch. The first main reason is a healthier lifestyle. And as far as the healthier lifestyle is concerned, a plant-based diet eliminates many of the growing health issues that we are facing today. Like I stated earlier, meat is linked as a cause of cancer, and removing it from your diet can prevent this. Going vegetarian can also lower your blood pressure, help prevent heart disease, and most of all, support weight loss and obesity prevention. That is because being a vegetarian removes many of the extra saturated fats and cholesterol and calories that cause these problems in the first place. Now, with the cause of less calories, people eat more and feel fuller sooner. The second reason is the ethical reason, which is the mistreatment and slaughter and killing of animals that we consume for meat. I'm going to give you the process of what slaughtered animals go through. The process that slaughtered animals go through begins with the pre-slaughter handling. Now, animals should be allowed water, but not fed for 12 to 24 hours before they are sent to the slaughterhouse. They should be kept in a cool environment with ventilation that has prevention of overcrowding. This, however, is not the case. Many animals are misfed and not given water and cramped in very tight cages where some of them can't even breathe or make it past the slaughterhouse in the first place. The next step is to restrain the animal and stun them to ensure they feel no pain. This, however, is also not the case because due to overcrowding, many animals are not stunned properly or stunned at all, and they definitely feel the pain of the slaughterhouse. Now, after stunning, animals are typically suspended in the air and moved down a conveyor line, and an insertion of knife is inserted into certain areas to get the blood flowing. The slaughter process differs depending on the animal, but usually after that, the skin is removed and the organs as well as other edible parts of the animal. The issue with many slaughterhouses is that many animals are mistreated before and during the slaughter process. I have a few pictures that depict this issue. The first picture I'm going to show you is of two pigs that are clearly outside of their cage. This clearly shows that the cages were too tight and cramped and they could not fit. In conclusion of that, they were left outside of the cage, not fed, and also hurt and mistreated, and perhaps they died from this same situation. The next photo I'm going to show you is that not all slaughterhouses go through that process. Some slaughterhouses are just straight up killing the animal. In this picture, you can clearly see that there is no conveyor belt, there is no stun gun, and the animals are just killed by knives through the process. Now, let's get back to the roots of our speech. So, not all vegetarians are the same. There are actually quite a few different kinds of vegetarians. The first one is lacto-vegetarian, which do not eat red meat, white meat, fish, or other seafood or poultry, but they do consume dairy products such as cheese, milk, and yogurt. Then we have, the ovo-vegetarian that does not eat red meat or white meat, chicken, fish, or seafood, but they do consume egg products. Then we have the lacto-ovo-vegetarian, which do not consume red meat, white meat, fish, or fowl, but they do consume dairy and egg products. This is the most common form of vegetarian that you all should know about. Then we have the pollotarian, which is much like the pescatarian, where it's like a semi-vegetarian, where it restricts meat consumption to poultry and fowl only. They do not consume red meat or seafood or fish. Then we have the pescatarian, which is technically not a type of vegetarian, and they do constrict meat consumption to seafood and fish only. Then we have the flexitarian, which is how many full-fledged vegetarians start off, because this is where it's a plant-based diet with an occasional meat item. So, for example, if you're considering starting out to be a vegetarian, you would start off with this process by eating 1 meat meal per week or 2 meat meals per week and just shortening it down as the process goes on. Now, there's a misconception that vegans are vegetarian. This is not the case. Vegans do not consume any meat products or byproducts. That means they eat no meat, red meat or white meat, fish or poultry, and they do also not eat honey, beeswax, or any other byproducts. This also means they do not wear wool, leather, or silk. Now, there are some cons to being vegetarian, or that most people think so, and they focus on mainly the missing nutrients such as protein, calcium, and iron that people feel that they are going to miss by just having a plant-based diet. This is not the case, though, because foods such as chickpeas, lentils, and potatoes and kale can provide those same nutrients to one's body. Another con is that the whole vegetarian diet can seem overwhelming. Now, if you're making the switch cold turkey, it can seem overwhelming because you're switching your whole diet to just eating plants instead of meat and plants. But with a little research and a little planning, you can still eat exactly what you like to eat. Now that I've given you much to think about, I want you to think about one more thing. Think about how much healthier you'll feel about eating a plant-based diet. Think about how much fuller you'll feel by eating less meat and eating more greens. And then I want you to think about the pigs and the cows and the chickens being slaughtered every day and how this will be a much better place if they could live to see one more day. Thank you.